Have you ever left a conversation thinking you were completely clear, only to realize later your message didn't land? Here's the real issue. Most communication breakdowns don't start with the listener. They start with the communicator whose thinking wasn't clear before the conversation began. Most people assume the problem is the other person. They weren't paying attention. They misunderstood. They just didn't get it. But often, the breakdown happens earlier. I saw this happen recently in a one-on-one conversation I had with another solopreneur. And we were sitting down to talk, and I asked her a simple question. What outcome do you want from this conversation? She paused for a second and said, "Oh, I hadn't really thought about that. I just thought we were having a one-on-one conversation to get to know each other better." But once she stopped and considered it, she immediately gave several outcomes that she was actually hoping for. She wanted details about a specific organization, and she wanted clarity on what I did as a speaker and peak performance coach. Once her thinking became clear, the direction of the conversation became so much clearer. And that's the pattern. When the thinking behind the message isn't clear, conversations drift. Too many points get covered, explanations start piling on, and something that needs to be said firm gets softened, and assumptions get made that were never actually stated. The gap between unclear thinking and clear communication is where misalignment begins. And you see this in business all the time. A pricing conversation runs longer than it should. A team conversation about performance starts drifting into explanation instead of clarity. Or a project comes back slightly off target because the outcome was assumed instead of defined. And none of this feels dramatic in the moment. It just feels like normal business friction. But the root issue is often the same. The thinking behind the message was never fully clarified. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kelli Risse, and I work with leaders and business owners to strengthen communication, improve focus, and maximize performance. One of the biggest patterns I see is people entering important conversations before their thinking is fully developed and clear. So the conversation becomes the place where they just try to figure it out. And that's where the explanations start piling on, the message becomes longer than it needs to be, and the other person walks away with a slightly different interpretation than intended. So high performers, they do something different. Before an important conversation, they pause and they clarify three things. What decision needs to be made? What outcome needs to be protected? And what is the one message that must land clearly? When those answers are clear, communication changes immediately. The message becomes simpler, conversations move faster, and alignment improves. You know, we need to stop calling communication a soft skill. In business, it's a performance driver. People act on what they understand, and they understand based on how clearly the message was delivered. If this idea resonates, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I share practical strategies like this to help leaders and business owners strengthen communication, focus, and performance. Clear communication starts with clear thinking, and clear communication improves performance, productivity, and revenue. Keep winning in business. I'm Kelli Risse.